Welcome everybody back to the channel. My name is Bill Purvis and I'm with another new series again. This time it's my NCAA football '07 Dynasty mode. But my focus here is not going to be on my created team, the McNary Central Bobcats. As you can see in the cover here of ESPN Magazine, 3-0 defeat Nebraska, extend their win streak to 29 games. They're not going to be the main focus of this series. In fact, it's going to be the other 118 teams across college football. Top 25 polls. As you can see, McNary Central's number 1. With that final score, you can see why, 238-0. But like I said, they're not going to be the main focus of this series. It's going to be the other teams like South Carolina number 2, Florida State number 3, Penn State number 4, Ohio State number 5. All these other teams are going to be the bigger focus of this series. Because I don't know if eventually I want to leave McNary Central and coach somewhere else, so that way I can have them as an opponent. And maybe sometime in the future, I'll let y'all decide. Like I said, Ohio State's number 5, Tampa Bay's number 6 in the coaches, West Virginia's number 7, USC's number 8, number 9's Colorado, 10's Virginia Tech, LSU's 11, Arkansas's 12, Wisconsin's 13th, Michigan's 14th, Arizona State's 15th, 16th is Texas. Excuse me there. And this is virtual 2008, so whatever's going on in real life 2008, it's totally different than nowadays. 17th is North Carolina State, 18th is Nebraska, who I just defeated, as we all know. 19th is Alabama, 20th is Northern Illinois, who started off the year upsetting Alabama. Oklahoma is 21st, 22nd is Georgia Tech, who I faced off at the national championship the previous year. Minnesota's 23rd, 24th is Oregon, and 25th is the Florida Gators. Now, according to the media, though, I'm number 1 still. South Carolina's number 2. They say Ohio State should be number 3. Number 4 should be Florida State. Number 5 should be Penn State. Number 6 is Tampa Bay. 7 West Virginia. 8th Virginia Tech. 9th USC. 10th Colorado. 11th LSU. Wisconsin's 13th. Wisconsin's 12th. Arkansas's 13th. 14th Arizona State, 15th Texas, 16th Oklahoma, 17th Alabama, Michigan at 18th, 19th Northern Illinois, 20th North Carolina State, 21st Nebraska, 22nd Florida, 23rd Oregon, 24th Georgia Tech, number 25 Maryland. And now my personal bottom 10, we're going to look at the conference standings here because at the bottom 10 are, in my opinion, the 10 worst football teams in this college football world. At number 1 we have Connecticut, who's 0-3, 2-star program, although you kind of expect that from a 2-star program. But this is year 3 of this dynasty. You expect them to go ahead and turn it around a bit. Number 2 is Southern Miss, which they went like 9-4 the previous year, and now they're already 0-3. Almost about to match the loss total they had all of last year. Number 3 we have San Jose State. I was real tempted of putting this team number 1 because they've always been the worst team in this dynasty, along with Idaho, but I chose them not to put it number 1 yet because they've only played 2 games. And speaking of Idaho, they are number 4, or as you can see, 0-3 as well. And number 5, I've got Miami. They were ranked 3 in the nation to begin this dynasty, and now they're 0-3, unranked, 6-star school, completely underperforming. At number 6, I have the Mickey Devils, and as you can see, they are 1-2, which they are highly underperforming because there are A pluses across the board, and they are underperforming that bad. And number 7, I have Utah, who were undefeated the entire year. Undefeated. And now they already have 2 losses of the year. And number 8, I have Ball State, which they looked like they were going to do good last year. Now they're kind of underperforming a bit as well. Number 9, I have Kansas. Then again, they're in the Big 12 against a lot of more football powerhouse schools anyways. So it's like, you can't really expect them to improve all that well, you know? And at number 10, a team I feel like that could turn their fortune around is going to be Northwestern. And because they had a winning record last year, and sure, right now they're kind of underperforming a little bit, but I feel like out of these 10 teams, they're one of the ones that I feel like can easily turn it all around. And I have 5 key matchups that I'm going to keep my eyes on during the simulations, which will not include this game, even though it's number 1 versus number 2. Since it's my game, I'm not going to say it's a key matchup, because as you can see by all these scores, yeah, it's not going to be worth mentioning as a key matchup. But key matchup number 1 is going to be between Georgia and LSU. Georgia is coming off a 6-6 season, whereas LSU is coming off a bowl game. These two teams are going to battle in Death Valley, where the Bayou Bengals faithful will show up in troves. LSU defense is a top 20 caliber defense, 16th overall, which should be good enough to beat the Georgia Bulldogs, which they have an offense that's average in the middle of the road. I wouldn't be if LSU doesn't win by 2 possessions. I'll be somewhat surprised. That's because of their very good defense and their alright offense, but their offense should be good enough to at least outdo their defense. My second key matchup is going to be between the Mickey Devils and the Maryland Terrapins. Mickey has normally been a dominant team in the ACC, but surprisingly not this year. This week they face off against a conference foe that always stops their momentum. Like, this team would always have a good winning record. They've been undefeated heading into this matchup, and Maryland would just come and upset them and halt all the momentum they had. Maryland, they're a team that's starting to be up on the rise as well. This is a game that Mickey needs to win the shake-off, then monkey on the back. And Maryland wants to win this game to keep Mickey in check. I say Mickey will come into hostile territory and pull out the win. I mean, I'm also looking at this from an overall standpoint, but I feel like this is going to be the game that the Mickey Devils will show up and destroy Maryland, or at least keep it a close game. My third key matchup is going to be between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Michigan State Spartans. Notre Dame is coming off a horrible season in which they went 4-7. It seems like this year they have turned it around, as they had their sights on Sparty this week, who are undefeated. Excuse me. Michigan State comes into this matchup undefeated, but can they hold back the Fighting Irish? On paper, this is a close one, because overall wise, Notre Dame's A minus, and Michigan State's A minus, B plus, B plus. But you look at the total offense and the total defense, like yardage-wise, they're close. I mean, granted, defense-wise, they're 60 yards apart, but I still consider that a little close. Michigan State does have better stats. Sorry about that. But I'm not counting down Notre Dame, as I think they will find what works in this game, use it against Michigan State, and win in East Lansing. And now my fourth key matchup here is the Florida Gators versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Here's a rivalry game that has more purpose than ever. Granted, how many times have you heard that phrase used in any sport? Last year, these two teams were both undefeated, both ranked in the top 10, and had a possible SEC East championship spot in the making. All of that went to South Carolina. The Vols went into the Swamp ranked third last year, but lost to the 9th ranked Gators. This year, Tennessee has a chance to upset Florida at home and any potential chance to reach the SEC championship for the Gators. I say it will be a high-scoring game because, look how many points per game both teams are putting up. This should be a blugger, folks. And I feel like that the Vols will prevail, and the momentum for them to have to run away with the SEC game, as this was the game last year that halted all the momentum that they potentially had going into the going into the SEC championship potentially, and to also potentially win the SEC championship. And my last key matchup for the day will be between the Virginia Tech Hokies and the Florida State Seminoles. Two top 10 teams, undefeated, prime time, a potential site of what could be a rematch in the ACC championship. The Hokies come into this game after defeating the runner-up in the BCS championship game last week in Georgia Tech. Florida State, on the other hand, walloped Austin College 56-3. Jesus, Florida State, at least let your foot off the gas but a little bit. This will be the game to watch the most this week, as each team controls their own destiny in their divisions, with a rematch being possible of happening. The Seminoles have home field advantage, but both are riding 7-game win streaks, as you can clearly see up there in the corner. Something is going to give in this game, and I say it's going to be the Hokies' inability to pass the ball. The Noles have a top 5 pass defense, and the Hokies' passing offense is 70th in the nation, which is average, but average is not going to be good enough to beat the Noles. Okay, they could try running the ball a lot more, but they're going against the 4th best rushing defense in the entire country. They're going against the 3rd best defense in the entire country. This will be a game to watch, folks, as can we see if Virginia Tech's defense, who's the 5th best in the entire nation, can stop Florida State's 2nd best offense in the entire country. I feel like FSU will win this game off the back of their defense. They're going to cause a bunch of turnovers and be able to control this game in favor of them. So those are the 5 key matchups, with Virginia Tech and Florida State being the one that I'm most interested for, especially since I have Florida State on the schedule. I have Maryland on the schedule as well, but they're not ranked, so along with Georgia and LSU. That's going to be an interesting matchup to potentially throw off any SEC championship plans early on. Mickey in Maryland, because Mickey needs a bounce back game. Notre Dame and Michigan State, because Notre Dame is bouncing back from a horrible season from the previous year. And Florida and Tennessee, a rivalry game with a rematch that's good for. The only thing I may keep up with y'all in this dynasty is like whoever I recruit or whoever transfers at the end of the season. That's about it. Okay. So that's it for this video, and I will see you all next time.